We're talking to Frank Hummel and Mark Lorenko from the Christian Hope Project on SOS Radio. Now, Christian Hope Project is an organization of a bunch of police officers put together to share hope in our community, just to reach out not only to people who live in the community, but to intentionally reach out to some of the police officers that are working and serving in the community.
Absolutely. Mark and I started this organization to minister to cops about Jesus Christ. 2 Corinthians 5:20 says that we are ambassadors of Christ, as though God were pleading through us. And that's the group of people we want to reach. We meet monthly with police officers. We teach from the Word of God. We eat together, we fellowship, and we plan outreach. The officers last year created a program called the Year of Hope. Now, we take a police officer's family and match them up with a needy family in the community. And every couple of weeks, they bless them with back-to-school clothes, back-to-school supplies, birthday presents, Christmas presents, athletic equipment, musical equipment, miscellaneous stuff like brakes for their vehicle, eyeglasses. And all of this is done while they're ministering to them about Jesus Christ. That's front and center in that relationship. And this Easter Festival we have coming up on April 4th is the driving force behind this program.
Yeah, there was like 6,000 people there last year. I remember we were out at the park. It was the Butterfly Park. That's what we call it, up in Centennial, man. 40,000 Easter eggs. There was all kinds of jumpers. There was live music. It was a blast. My kids had an amazing time.
Absolutely right. The Easter Festival, like Frank said, is April 4th this year. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Again, it's going to be at Centennial Hills Park, or Butterfly Park, as you called it, 7101 North Buffalo. It's a great event for the family. You know, we do have live music out there. Every hour there's a different worship team, a different band if they're playing. There's jumpies. This year we're going to have 11 huge jumpies out there, games for the kids to play. You know, it's great. There's going to be police officers out there, the police cars, our SWAT team will be out there. We're going to have fire department, ambulances. It's a great time for the family. And like you mentioned, with the 40,000 Easter eggs, we are the largest Easter egg hunt here in Las Vegas. 40,000 Easter eggs. We're going to have 3 separate times. If you want more information about the times, they'll be on our website. Not only there's police officers and firemen and ambulance crews out there, but the entire festival is put on by police officers. A majority of the helpers are off-duty police officers. The organizers, the Christian Hope Project, were police officers. It's just a way of us as police officers giving back to our community. And like Frank kind of mentioned about the Year of Hope program, this Easter Festival is our #1 funding source for our Easter Festival. All the proceeds through the food sales, through donations, go to our Year of Hope program, where we get to bless needy families in the community. This entire Easter Festival, the best part, it's free. Everything's free. We have some food for sale, but the jumpies, the games, all free.
We just show up with our family with our Easter baskets, and we can just go to town and play and hang out and climb through all the SWAT trucks and the emergency vehicles and just walk around with a day at the park, Frank.
Yeah, we're really excited about this Easter Festival. Last year was a blast. We didn't know what to expect. What a blessing. God really blessed it, and we know it's going to be the same this year. It's going to be awesome.
6,000 kids running around, celebrating Easter at the park. I love it. We're talking to Frank Hummel and Mark Lorenko from ChristianHopeProject.com. You can find details on the Easter Festival coming up in April at EasterFestival2015.com, and they're going to share some more stories coming up next. We're talking to Frank Hummel and Mark Lorenko on SOS Radio, and they're local cops, and they're also part of the Christian Hope Project. And there's a lot of different charities that reach out to police officers to help with hurts and hang-ups. And you guys wanted to start an organization because you've been on the front lines, and you've seen some real needs and lack of hope over the years.
You know what? There's a lot of organizations that do good work for police officers. The incidence of alcoholism, depression, divorce, suicide is higher amongst cops than it is than the general population. And their focus usually is on those things. And I think those things are very, very important. But our focus more than anything is on spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ to those officers. Seek the kingdom of God first, and all those other things will be added unto you. And we wholeheartedly believe that in Christ there's peace and joy and victory for those officers. And we reached out to a group of people that's difficult to reach. Police officers see things every week that some people will never see in their entire lives. And it's hard to reach this group of people, but as officers we have an inside track, and it's easier for us to reach out to them. We want to, when we're financially sustainable here and thriving in this city, to go out to other cities and continue to do this, because it's not just the officer that's impacted by this, it's their spouses, their children, their neighbors, their friends. the thousands of people they come in contact with every year. So we understand the impact of this, and that's what God's laid on our heart, to really truly teach police officers about Jesus.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because once you come to faith in Jesus, he changes your heart, he changes your mind, and then you go, okay, how do I apply this? A lot of times in the secular world, our jobs, regardless of what we do for a living, is, okay, check your faith at the door, you can believe in God and do this, but when you're in the office, you have to be a little more politically correct. But I think we all realize, what? This is real hope, and God's changed our heart, so that's naturally going to be an outflowing of who we are, because God has done something in our life.
Absolutely. I came to Christ 2 years ago. He changed my life in a profound way. Mark's been doing this job for almost 20 years as a Christian the entire time. And we talk, Mark, and he'll tell you how it's affected his career and some of the other people that he's seen around him that don't know Christ.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference when you're a police officer and you're dealing with the tragedies in the community. And I see police officers around me that are struggling with alcoholism, their divorce rates, and their just depression. And I've seen them gone through an entire 20-year career unscathed. And the difference is Jesus Christ. I have that hope, and that's what Christ does, gives people hope. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to share to these police officers that feel there's no hope out there. We're sharing that hope of Christ. And that's what our organization is about. Whether it's the Year of Hope program, where we're helping needy families in the communities, we're giving them hope of Christ. We're giving the police officers' families hope. Whether it's through our Easter Festival, we're giving community hope. Because our Easter Festival is unique. Every hour on the hour, the gospel message is shared. We have teams of believers going through the crowd, just ministering to people, just sharing the gospel. It's just a great opportunity to get involved with.
We actually had a story. Our children's pastor at our church goes on to Facebook to check out some of the things people were posting about this awesome event, and he sees a woman that our church posts something on there that says, "I'm so blessed I got to share the love of Christ with this young lady, and she prayed to receive Jesus in her life." And the picture on there was his sister.
Oh, wow.
Just awesome. He was just blown away. All of us were, obviously. And but those are the kind of stories that come out of this thing that just really just move us,
We're talking to Frank Hummel and Mark Lorenko from the ChristianHopeProject.org. And if you want some information on the Easter Festival, it's coming up on April the 4th, Centennial Hills Park. You can actually click EasterFestival2015.com and grab all the details. And it's free. We're talking to Mark Lorenko and Frank Hummel from the ChristianHopeProject.com. It's a local charity embracing police officers and building into their families and sharing hope into the community. Now, Frank, I know there's been a movement in a lot of different cities. Las Vegas one that's included in this with faith initiatives. The police department or the mayor's office or the counties inviting in the faith community to help tackle some of the biggest problems in the city. Where do you see that movement coming from?
We see in our country a lot of situations that have been happening recently. What went on in Ferguson, what went on in New York. A lot of these incidents raise the question about what, in police work, what are we doing? We're partnering with our community. Do they have a voice? And that's what they really want. They want a voice. They want a partnership with their police. They want to be heard. And a lot of police agencies all throughout the country realize that the community, they have answers. They can work together with us to build relationships. And I think they really realize that these relationship building with the community is successful for everyone involved. But to me, the underlying thing more than anything is they realize that the reason these faith-based initiatives have success is because people are lost. People are lost. And they are looking, like Mark said, for hope. They're looking for hope. And these faith-based initiatives are having success because they're bringing people what they truly need. It's frustrating at times because we do have an obligation, officers have an obligation, just like anyone where you work, to endorse what that agency stands for, which is neutrality. And we make sure that, sometimes it's frustrating because you're standing there with the answer and people are crying for that answer. And we have to make sure that we reach out. And those faith-based initiatives are reaching out, and they have that. And they're able to speak from a place of healing and hope. And that's why I think that they recognize that that community relationship with them is successful, because these faith-based initiatives do have the ability to speak into their lives about Jesus Christ.
We're talking to Frank Hummel and Mark Lorenko from the Christian Hope Project on SOS Radio, and they're local police officers in Southern Nevada. And they lead this nonprofit organization to reach out to this community. And I know as kids we all grow up and we have heroes, and there's people in your life that might be a professional race car driver, or might be a singer or a worship leader. When it comes to my kids, we have a friend named Jeff, and my son thinks he's like the biggest hero because he's a canine cop. He's got a truck and a dog, and he is the man when you talk to my son Gavin. You know, it's interesting how, there's different perceptions of police officers kind of depending on where you grow up or what your family's experience has been. Maybe you live in more of an urban area and your family was involved on one side of the law, and then on others you look at police officers and firefighters as amazing heroes. The cool thing I see about the Christian Hope Project is just the way that police officers are coming and not only serving the community but trying to serve and challenge each other and their families as a big giant support system.
No, I agree completely, and that's one thing that's unique about our organization is when we head out in the community as police officers, people do look at police officers differently. There's a majority of people that actually like having police officers around. They think we're the good guys, if you want to use that term. But there are part of the community that don't trust the police. They have a dislike for the police, and we're trying to change that. And what we're trying to do is take police officers, not on duty, not while they're working, but actually on their own time, to actually go out into the community and make a lasting impact. And at the Easter Festival, when people find out that we're police officers and we're giving back and we're doing this because we care about them and we love them, the kids, actually, you see their faces light up, and what we're doing, we're changing generations because they start to see police officers as real people, as people that care about them, that are invested in their community and in their success. And that's the goal of our organization. Not only does it change the police officers that actually go out and do the outreach and help out, but it changes this entire community.
Well, tell me about a couple of the stories that you've seen come out of this.
One of the things we see, God just doing amazing things, and through our Year of Hope program, one of our families, it's a single mother. She has one child, and she was telling us a story how she was just broken. She was on her knees just crying out to God for help because her life has been so difficult and just failure after failure, and money and just everything in her life was falling apart, and she just cried out to God, and she was starting to lose faith, she said. And then all of a sudden her phone rang, and it was the Christian Hope Project letting her know that she was selected as one of the Year of Hope families. And she just couldn't believe it. It was like an answered prayer, and she was still a little hesitant. She wasn't sure because, what is this going to be? Are they really going to be there? And a couple months ago at one of the meetings, I sat down and just talked to her, and she was just telling me how seeing Christianity lived out, seeing people that actually truly care and showing them the love of Christ just totally reinvigorated her faith. She just realized God's real, and He cares about her, and He's there for her. And she's back on fire for the Lord. She's excited about starting to help. She wants to get involved in the ministry rather than accepting support. She wants to be one out there actually giving support and helping other families and just giving back. So it's just amazing what God can do and how powerful He truly is in our lives.
Yeah, and that's when you see that it's not just a handout, that's fully a hand up, when she's coming back and she's coming full circle saying, now I want to give back, now I want to be a part of this, now I want to help others.
Yeah. If anyone out there wants more information on the Christian Hope Project or to donate to help support us, you can go to www.easterfestival2015.com. There's a link to our main site, christianhopeproject.com. But on the website, we have pictures from last year's festival, information about the festival coming up. And if you click on the donate page, you can give a one-time gift, or you can give monthly support and help sustain the organization. For a lot of these stories that we've been talking about, this comes directly because we get the support from Christians who are supporting the gospel being spread. And that's what I want people to know, that it's tax deductible. We are 501c3, but also every dollar that we get goes towards spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Awesome. We're talking to Frank Hummel and Mark Lorenko from the ChristianHopeProject.com, SOS Radio. That's Rhett Walker Band on SOS Radio. It's called When Mercy Found Me. Anytime you ever want to be a part of our show, or you ever want to leave some comments about any of the discussions that we're having, you can call us at 702-732-9102, or you can post right on Facebook.com/SOS Radio. Hi.
Hey, good morning, Scott. It's Claudia. I just wanted to thank you for having those guys on the Christian Hope Project, because it's so critically important that those guys, our cops, of which, by the way, keep them at the forefront of your thoughts. SWAT team was just involved in an incident this morning. But just to keep breathing life into these guys, because there's so much truth to the fact that even though they have their struggles with Jesus, it's like that added extra comfort that whereas if they don't have somebody to turn to, they have Christ. So just wanted to thank you guys for talking about that this morning.